Phone number, taking your phone calls on Sports Radio 1450. You're listening to Fantasy Football 101. Go ahead. Oh, they hung up on us. Let's try this caller. And I just hung up on both of them. Hey.
I've got something I want to ask you guys.
Oh, good.
I'm not ready, totally ready. You know, it's only week 2.
Right.
And I'm not totally set on jumping ship from the Rams yet. It's getting to that point with the sign of Eddie Kennison really kind of made me feel that way. But I've got a trade set up right now that somebody proposed to me. And it's Jarius Norwood and Sammy Morris for Torrey Holt. And I've been going back and forth about it because everything I'm reading is that Sammy Morris is probably looking to get more carries and more touches than Lawrence Maroney.
Well, who are your other wide receivers?
There you go. That's
the question.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'd do it right now.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm thinking is I've got Randy Moss and Donald Driver.
Yeah, do it.
You're
okay.
Okay.
529-1450 if we can answer your questions too. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Yeah, I need a flex option with either Maurice Jones-Drew, Lindell White, or Kevin Smith. I'll hang up and listen.
All right. Thank you for the call. 529-1450.
I've got problems with the Jacksonville running backs right now because their offensive line is so beat up, so I don't know if Jones-Drew just yet would be the play there. I like Kevin Smith, the young kid from Detroit. I think he's up and coming. I think he's got a chance to have a few good games coming up here. That's who I'd probably go with.
He had a decent week. He got into the end zone last week. And Rudy Johnson only came in and got 3 touches.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll factor in a little bit more this week, but still probably not too much. I kind of like Kevin Smith, too. And Lindale White, it seems like he's going to be losing his touches to maybe Chris Johnson.
Yeah.
And
However, I'll say this, though, about Lindale White. They are playing the Bengals this week, and they're going to be moving the ball, so he might get a few more touches this week.
Don't completely give up on Jones-Drew, but right now it's going to be tough sledding for him and Fred Taylor.
You know, I just made a trade and acquired Jones-Drew in one of my leagues. I traded Roy Williams and Ryan Grant for Jones-Drew and Braylon Edwards. And I'm not really ready to give up on Jones-Drew in Jacksonville just yet. I know that Jones-Drew catches a lot of passes out of the backfield, and if there's a lot of pressure on David Garrard, he's going to be dumping it off to Jones-Drew quite a bit. It might equal some pretty decent numbers, especially in a PPR league.
You might take a hit for a couple weeks, but then down the road it may benefit you.
Yeah.
So just hang on to it. You might be okay.
This week I like Kevin Smith though.
I'd go with Kevin Smith myself, but Lindale White I'd go as your second option if you're leaning that way.
Yep.
529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
What were your thoughts on Torrey Holt?
Torrey Holt.
He got me a big 0 last week. So.
Yeah, me too.
And the
I had
problem was
0.9.
and the bad thing, it's not Torrey Holt's fault. The guy still has plenty of football left in him, but the offensive line is so bad.
Folger's on his back all day.
Folger's running for his life most of the time, and he can't get the passes to Holt. It's a bad situation. Holt owners suffer because the offensive line can't protect Folger.
Yeah, I
don't think he's finished, but he's going to have a tough road because he just can't get the ball.
No, that's the line on Holt today. We said trade him or don't play him this week, pretty much. That's been the consensus. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. One about my wide receivers and the other one about my quarterbacks. I have McNabb and I have Rodgers, but with McNabb going against the against the Dallas defense, I'm not real sure about starting him. And with Aaron Rodgers doing as well as he did last week, I was hoping maybe he'd get a few touchdowns for me against Detroit's defense, which didn't look that good.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to go with Rodgers.
I have Rodgers in my top 5 this week. I really like Aaron Rodgers against Detroit.
It's really tough for me to sit Donovan McNabb, but the problem is, and it was mentioned, he's going against Dallas, and in his receiving core, the guy, 3 guys had the 100 yards plus. Well, Dallas is a lot better and defensively, and when you don't have your main receivers against Dallas, I think your numbers will suffer. That's why I think you go with Rodgers against a terrible Detroit team.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one. Take Rodgers. Did you have a wide receiver question?
Yeah, since Marquise Colston got injured, and he's out for 2 weeks now.
He's going to be out
4 to 6.
4 to 6,
Yeah.
okay.
And most likely 6.
I was lucky, and I picked up Deshaun Jackson and Eddie
Wow.
Royal. Now, which one of them two should I start?
Very lucky.
Eddie Royal. I tell you what, this kid I really like a lot. I think Eddie Royal, even though he's going to be the number 2 guy behind Brandon Marshall, Jay Cutler has shown that he's going to be an outstanding young quarterback, and I think there'll be plenty of passes to go around. I like Royal this week. Deshaun Jackson, for the main reason I just gave with McNabb, they're going against Dallas.
Right.
It'll be a little bit tougher. Well, I think Royal's your answer here.
Yeah, you got some
Okay.
good ones there, though.
Sure do.
Yeah, not a bad problem to have.
You in an
know,
8-man league?
Yeah.
All right.
I ended up having let's see here, for running backs, Julius Jones, Reese Morris, and Brian Westbrook. So I'm kind of only stuck with Brian Westbrook there.
Yeah, but your wide receivers are good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Yep, thanks for the call. 529-1450. Thank you. 529-1450 is the phone number. We'll be here every Saturday morning
nice.
from 8 until 9, and we are just about out of time, so we need to quickly go through our sleepers, studs, and duds for the week. Mark.
Stud, Plaxico Burris should have a huge game, maybe 150 yards, a score or two. Dud, Lee Evans, doesn't do anything on the road. Sleeper, Anthony Gonzalez with Dallas Clark out. Gonzalez should have a big game.
Eric.
Oh man, I've got a bunch, but I'll go with my one stud. I'll go with Eli Manning. I really like Roethlisberger this week too at Cleveland.
Okay, we all can't pick Giants as studs.
Okay.
They're playing the Rams, guys.
Okay, then give me then I'll take either Roethlisberger or Rodgers. I really like both those guys, and or Adrian Peterson against Indianapolis. I really like him. Duds. I kind of think that Jay Cutler is gonna let people down this week if they're expecting what they got from him last week. Because like I said earlier, this week they're playing San Diego. It's going to be a little bit tougher of a draw for Jay Cutler. So he might let some people down. And sleepers, I like Justin Gage, wide receiver from Tennessee against Cincinnati with Kerry Collins throwing the ball as opposed to Vince Young. And I also kind of like Damon Heward, quarterback, Kansas City against Oakland. I mean, these are sleepers, right? I'm looking
Right, sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sure. That's fine. Those will work.
That's me.
Nicorelli?
My studs, we're looking at Eli Manning, Plaxico Burris, Tiki Barber,
Tiki Barber.
Jeremy
Yeah, well, we
Shockey,
might as well
anybody
throw him
who's
out there.
ever played for the Giants. Duds, I'm looking at Carson Palmer. And really, the Cincinnati offense,
dud last week.
it really doesn't look like they're on the same page at all. Sleepers, Sammy Morris, New England, like I said, it seems like he may get some touches, some quality touches. And Steve Slayton, running back Houston, he's getting a start this week, which I'm excited about.
I expect Houston to have another a good game this week after losing in week number 1. We are wrapping up here on Fantasy Football 101. Quickly, Derek Anderson, my dud.
Thanks for listening to Fantasy Football.
Jason Campbell, my sleeper.
Sports Radio
Wow.
1450.
Chris Johnson, my stud. We're out. We'll talk to you next Saturday.
At 8 a.m. right here on Sports Radio 1450.
Hi,